Discourse number 4, October 13, 1932. The I Am Discourses by the Ascended Master Saint Germain. Saint Germain. Invocation. Thou mighty consuming flame of God, we bow before thy mighty, majestic power. We rejoice in thy directing wisdom. We rejoice in thy presence in the heart of every one of God's messengers that go forth to direct his service and energy to the blessing of mankind. We give praise and thanks that thy presence has changed the tide of things, and that thou art, as always, the mighty governing intelligence. We give praise and thanks that thy consuming fire and thy creative activity, dwelling in the heart of every one of us, are ready to be loosed by the conscious desire into action. We give praise and thanks that thou art the consuming presence everywhere, that I am there, and I am here, and I am the power that makes all things clear. I am the majestic presence. I am the conquering power. I am thy mighty energy, thy consuming flame, each hour. I bring greetings to you all from the heart of the creative fire. The Discourse. The creative fire that I am is the flame of God, his master presence, anchored in the heart of every one of God's children. While in some it is but a spark, yet with the right touch that spark can be fanned into a creative fire and consuming flame. This mighty presence, God, in its myriad activities, is the omnipresent activity that all may use without limit. If they only will dismiss from their recognition the outer appearance, which is but an appearance, and take their attention away from that which has bound them through endless years. Today, the scepter of power and authority stands in the atmosphere before the single eye of every advancing student. At first, they may reach up mentally and take the scepter of authority, using it in this way until before they are scarcely aware of it, they will find it tangible and visible in their use at times. It is no idle promise that those seeking the light may again receive this dominion. When we go through a footpath in the forest, we know we may return the same way if we wish, but we must make the decision. So, after hundreds of years of search in the outer for power and authority, we find that anything that seems to be so is but shifting sand, and tomorrow it may be gone. By the rejoicing acceptance of your God dominion, you may step firmly upon the sure foundation of the rock of truth, which is God. And from which no outer disturbance can ever shake you, once you know from actual experience. Students of truth wonder why they cannot hold a firm anchor in their decision to hold fast to the God presence, which is their dominion. They do not analyze their outer expression to see what is lurking there, to cause disturbance, question, and doubt. But for those who will take the authority which is theirs and probe deep into their motives, it will be so easy to pluck out the tares from the golden grain, and soon be free from the disturbance that causes them to doubt themselves and the very presence of God which beats their hearts. When students will be honest enough with themselves and their God, the I Am Presence, to pluck out by the roots anything that is causing disturbance within them, and be able to feel the mighty light and radiance of the great God-self, they will require little effort in loosing the great I Am Presence in love and intelligence, which is an ever-sustaining power in strength, assurance, or whatever they may need, in order to hold their feet firm upon the rock of truth, which is one of the great jewels in God's kingdom. Its dazzling radiance will enfold them upon the slightest invitation. O students of today, hold fast to this mighty presence which beats your hearts, whose life flows through your veins, whose energy flows through your mind. You have free will and can qualify and bless it to your perfection or imperfection. Always remember that through your failure to turn to this mighty presence, by which you find you have created inharmony and disorder, you must give yourselves ample time to gain the full recognition of this mighty power and give it full activity in your life. Do not become impatient because things do not work out as rapidly as you would like them. They can only work according to the speed of your acceptance and the intensity of your feeling. The mighty energy that surges through your mind into your body is the pure electronic energy of God, the mighty I Am Presence. If your thought is joyously held upon your God-self as the source of your being and life, that pure electronic energy continues to act unabated, uncontaminated by human discordant qualification. But knowingly or unknowingly, if you let your thought begin to gather from the discord by which it is so often surrounded, you change the color and quality of this radiant pure energy. It must act, and you are the one who shall choose how it shall act to you. Don't ever think you can get away from this simple fact. It is an immutable law of God, and no human being can ever change it. Students must understand and maintain this attitude if they wish to make steady progress. I tell you, beloved students, you may rage and doubt and fear and rebel all you please at self-correction. But it is the open door to your mighty illumination and freedom from all limitation in the outer world of activity. There are a great many students, when they come to a certain point of understanding, where all the results of their activity are revealed to them, and they look upon the many mistakes that have been made which must be corrected, become despondent, critical, and condemnatory to themselves and God. This is a great mistake again. Everything that is revealed to them, in which they find they have been making a mistake, should make them rejoice exceedingly that the things are revealed which need correcting. Knowing that God is the power to think, then they know they have the power to correct this, and should joyfully set to work to do so. The power of God's life, which beats their hearts, is absolute proof that they have the intelligence and power of God within them, by which they may dissolve and consume all the mistakes and discordant creation they have consciously or unconsciously drawn about them. They may say to this undesirable creation, I am, the mighty consuming flame that now and forever consumes all past and present mistakes, their cause and effect, and all undesirable creation for which my outer is responsible. It seems so strange that students seem to have such difficulty in fixing the anchorage and recognition of the limitless power they are wielding when they say, I am. When the intellect, which is the outer activity, knows this, then the students should intensify it with all their power by the intense feeling of the truth of this. Then they would find greatly added speed and power in their active use. I tell you, dear students, you have come to a time when you can use this power with great authority to free yourselves from the chains of limitation that have bound you so long. Set about it with joyous determination to put your house in order. If you are going to have a distinguished guest, I doubt not that you would spend days working earnestly, cleaning, washing, polishing, and preparing for this guest. How much more important it is to prepare for this great Prince of love and peace, the Prince of consuming fire that dwells within you and controls the element of fire. When one thinks of Oramesus, Prince of the fiery element, it is the flame of creative fire within that is calling to him for assistance in the quickening of this creative power and brings results unimaginable. There has been no time in my memory when there was so much natural assistance at hand for the student of light, for his use, as there is at this time, and the students should take advantage of this with joyous intensity. When you speak in the name, power, and authority of the mighty I Am, you are releasing limitless energy to do your bidding, to fulfill your desire. Why longer allow doubt and fear to beset you. When I am the open door which no man can shut, into the great opulence of God, waiting, surging to press forward, to heal, to bless, and to prosper you abundantly. Dare to be, to feel, to use this mighty authority, God in you. Beloved students, do you not realize that you can express perfection by taking your determined stand with sufficient intensity? That I am the mighty electronic energy flowing through, filling and renewing every cell of my mind and body right now? Do you not see with sufficient intensity of this, in a few minutes or hours, you could dispel any disturbing condition in the mind or body, and allow that mighty pure energy to do its work uncolored, unaffected by any discordant element in your own thought? You can renew any nerve, any organ, and build any member of the body into its perfection almost immediately. Oh, why not feel this, apply it, and as you begin to experience the remarkable results, your confidence will leap into its perfect activity, and your mind will have all confidence in this mighty presence and power and its omnipresent, limitless use. When there is a seeming lack of energy, take your determined, joyous stand. I am the mighty presence of this alert, radiant energy surging through my mind and body, dismissing everything unlike itself. I take my stand in this alert, radiant energy and joy for all time. You can pass this pure energy through your mind and body as I would pass my hand down before you. At first, because you do not seem to feel any great magnetic electronic force pass over you, does not in any way indicate that you have not received this mighty energy, which you have commanded with authority to flow through your mind and body. One may say the same thing to his affairs that may not be according to his desire for perfect expression. The student can stand and call forth the mighty presence of the I Am. Send it forth into his business and world. Command it to consume everything unlike itself, and replace all with the mighty perfection of God, which I am. Command it to be self-sustained, and cause that perfection to manifest his unceasing authority and power, and cleanse his world of every discordant thing. For I am the supreme authority, God in action. One does not need to do this with any tension, or to the extent that he creates tension in the action of the body, but he can rise in the supremacy and dignity of the authority of God and cleanse everything needing it. In doing this, one need not speak in a loud voice, but in a very low, masterful tone. Stand in the room by yourself and declare, I am master of my world. I am the victorious intelligence governing it. I send forth into my world this mighty, radiant, intelligent energy of God. I command it to create all perfection, to draw to me the opulence of God made visible in my hands and use. I am no longer the babe of Christ, but the Master Presence, grown to full stature. And I speak and command with authority. Thus, one may consume the mistakes and imperfection he may have created, and in the authority of the I Am, recreate immediately the perfection he desires. Know that it is constantly self-sustained. So long as you do not intrude upon it the discordant activity of your thought and feeling. I want so much to have you feel that you are the only authority in this world or any other, so far as your world is concerned. Do not ever fear that the perfecting of your world is going to disfigure anyone else's world, so long as your intent is not to harm anyone. It does not matter what the world about you says, or how much they try to intrude upon you their doubts, fears, and limitations. You are the supreme authority in your world. And all you have to do is to say, when you are beset by those conditions, I am the mighty magic circle of protection about me that is invincible and repels from me every discordant thought and element which seeks to find entrance or intrude itself. I am the perfection of my world, and it is self-sustained. O beloved ones, it is no longer necessary to wonder, waver, and question. I am the authority. Go on, dare to be, and use this authority of God which is expressing in the I Am of everything. Why not be fearless? You have been wanting the presence of the great Ascended Ones. I am the visible presence of those greatly beloved Ascended Masters whom I wish to have appear here to me, and whose assistance I desire. You have come to the point where you can dismiss all discord from your minds. Fill your minds with this pure electronic essence, and no discord can enter so long as you keep it filled with this presence. I tell you again, you are the authority in your world, and if your thought is filled with this essence, then no discord will touch it. We are going to take this authority and use it. Clear away all discord and declare with no uncertainty, I am the supremacy of man everywhere I go. I am God in action. benediction. Mighty creative fire, we give praise and thanks for thy great omnipresence today, to heal, to bless, and to prosper everywhere. Enter into the hearts of mankind with thy creative presence and genius. And let the full divine justice of thy supremacy reign throughout the land in all official places. See that all authority is in the hands of thy trained and trusted messengers, that they may govern fully all governmental offices in America and be ever divinely sustained. That America be healed, blessed, and forever prosper. That all sinister influence be consumed and forever repelled from within the borders of America. Notes. The host of angels rejoice at the return of the wanderer who has come back home, who has sought authority so long in the outer and found only husks. After his energy is wasted, he comes back home, and there is the fountain to recharge, rebuild him against all the discrepancies called old age. Thus you can stand forth renewed again in the fullness of youth and power. For such is the way of life, God's life. It keeps the most marvelous vibratory action expressing for each one to speak gently. It is perfectly wonderful if you could see the interaction of it. Let each one enter into the happiness and love of perfect obedience, and liberate the great power of God. If one just lets go of the outer and enters into the inner, every discord lets go at once. Etheric cities. Over the principal deserts, there are etheric cities. Over the Arizona desert is the etheric city in America. There's one over the Sahara and one over the Gobi. The one over Brazil is the etheric city for South America. Humanity should know and be made to realize that again, and again, the inhabitants of cities pass out through so-called death and re-embody in that same place, because attachments have been formed that draw them back into the same environment again. The student who has to re-embody should take the command that the next time I will be born into a family of great light. This would open the door to great speed in his progress.